This will be a rant video, and today we'll talk about one of the most OP survivors and why they'll never get nerfed. This will be Dusekkar. Now, you read the title, and you might say, but Miko, Dusekkar is a support, and when I play him, I always die. He sucks! Why should he get nerfed? And I say, hell no! He is overpowered as shit. Dusekkar is my main, and let me say from experience, he is a powerhouse that you always want dead first. Dusekkar's support capabilities are currently too overtuned and need to be emergency nerfed. Let me explain why. And also why, I'll be playing some background footage and messing around the pub, and later on I will show you an example of Dusekkar being too overpowered in a game. Now let's start off with spawn protection, aka the force field. This shit is brain dead good at sometimes. Spawn protection hard counters Noli and 1x the most, and every other killer it absolutely terrorizes also. Now some examples you may ask, and I'm gonna speed this up.
1x using mass infection, shield the survivor. 1x entanglement, shield the survivor. Survivor about to be gashing wounded, shield the survivor. Noli hits the first part of Void Rush, shield the survivor. Nolan throws Nova, shield the survivor. Cool Kid uses minions, shield the survivor, and they eat the minions. Cool Kid uses Wax Override, shield survivor. John Doe is using spikes for damage, shield survivor. John Doe is trapping the spikes or footprints, shield survivor.
And the list goes on. This doesn't even include the fact that you can just shield a survivor when a survivor is in M1 range, or when, say, a sentinel misses a stun, just shield them too. Now, obviously, resistance 4 in demand at basically any time is very OP, but not nearly as good as the other ability Dusekkar has, and that would be Plasma Beam. Genuinely, probably in my opinion, top 3 best abilities in the game, and let me tell you why. Plasma Beam is able to slow the killer if the killer is hit, and speed up survivors if survivors are hit. Any amount of damage, only once though, if you were zapped. To put this into perspective, if you zap a survivor, they can take an entire mass infection or walk speed override hit. Keep in mind, multi-hit moves like Gash You and strip off the overheal much easier, as it's not one single big hit, but some of the damage still gets negated. Obviously this overheal is really good, but the fact that makes it even better is when you're hit, you still get a speed boost. What I'm saying is that usually you get M1, you get a speed boost. This also applies when you get zapped, meaning you will take no damage and get a speed boost on top of the speed 1 you get from the zap. You are going to be zooming, and there's nothing the killer can do because the overheal runs out so slowly, you just basically have to hit them. Now, Dusekkar's spawn protection and Plasma Beam is very good for support, but we all know that Dusekkar alone isn't the best by himself. Let's get on to some of the cons of Dusekkar. He has low HP, a high skill ceiling. The survivor you zap/shield has to understand how the mechanics work to get the best value out of the abilities. Basically what I'm saying is you can't just zap anyone and they'll live. Unlike a Elliot pizza that you can just throw and someone will get healed, you have to actually have good timing. Not self-sustainable and performs very poorly in chase. Meaning, say, he doesn't have a stun for himself, and his Plasma Beam isn't always very usable to stun the killer while in a chase, unless they're at a check spot. Now, the funny thing is, all these cons do not apply if you have a good team. Being self-sustainable doesn't matter. Elliot will help you out if you need to take any damage. Sentinels will make sure that killer does not hit you at all. On a good team, you also have survivors that know how to use your zap and shield. Dusekkar on a good team is just unfucking killable. He's unkillable. There's no way to catch up to him. And don't even get me started on the forbidden sauce. And that would be Double Dusekkar. Double Dusekkar is genuinely the most... it's horrible. It's horrible. Not enough people run Double Dusekkar. In fact, I barely ever see Double Dusekkar, and when I do not like playing the game anymore. Now, I know I'm hyping this up. Why am I hyping this up? 2 Dusekkars can just keep zapping and shooting each other, and it's super frustrating. And if you don't chase one of them, the survivor you chase, double zap. Zap, M1 them, they get away. Zap, M1 them, get away. It's just Sisyphus. You're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's insanity. Now, that's why Dusekkar is OP, but what about why he will never get nerfed? Finding a good Dusekkar player is more unlikely than finding someone who has milestone 4 on every single killer, every single survivor, 3 times in a row. You're not finding a good Dusekkar. Unrelated note, if you do find a good Dusekkar, friend request them ASAP. I'm not kidding when I say this. Friend request them. They'll make your life easier and they'll make your killer games even harder. They will be a good addition to your friends. So with the fact that there being no Dusekkars, obviously there's not enough people to balance them out. And no disrespect to the mod team, but or the developer team, but the developers are a little bit incompetent when it comes to balancing. I mean, just take example 2 time on release, bro. What was that? Or like a whole month when every sentinel could hit through walls and 2 time was breaking subspace, and I don't know. It was bad. why would they nerf Dusekkar or change him again? The player base is also too casual at the moment, and none of them really know what's good or what's not good. I guarantee you like 90% of the player base probably thinks Gas is the best survivor when it's just not even true, not even close. And most of them probably think Elliot's horrible because Elliot gets targeted half the time, which is just like, why would you think that? Not to mention Dusekkar's skill cap, you have to be good and your team has to be good to use him. All this combined means that Forsaken is probably never going to nerf Dusekkar. Nah, let's get on to the example on how good he is in the game. Not only did this guy step in a trap, he took 6 M1s and finally died, just because he got 2 zaps and 1 shield. Two-Tom makes a big mistake, gets cornered, and he's bailed out with a zap and a shield. Chance misses their gunshot and shield to just protect them from all the damage. Dusekkar gets trapped and 2 zaps with the shield just negates all the damage except for the trail. Two zaps come in to stall the John Doe from moving, and the shield saves Dusekkar and lets him get away. This was all in one game, by the way. And yeah, that's why I think Dusekkar is brain dead OP. Well, not so much brain dead, but way too OP. Just wanted to make a little quick rant video on Dusekkar. Hopefully this guy gets nerfed in some future. This video wasn't the best to experience and tell you guys how OP Dusekkar is, but I hope it conveyed the message just a little bit. And if you still don't think Dusekkar is that OP, I'm telling you, you gotta find a good Dusekkar. Bro, it's gonna be hella annoying. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later. Peace out, y'all.